When they left the woods, Musa was in a part of the county he'd never seen before. The bears stopped at the top of the huge hill, and if Musa squinted enough, he could just about see the stream right at the bottom that seemed forever away. The bears tied his paws together. "What are you doing with me?" said Musa. "You'll see," said one of the bears, and they began swinging him like a hammock in the breeze. 1, 2, 3, and on 4, the bears threw Musa down the hillside and towards the stream. "See you later, kid," Musa could hear one of them say in the distance. So now he was hurtling towards the stream, rolling, bouncing, bobbling down the hillside. It felt like an eternity had passed and he wasn't even still halfway down it yet. The rope around his paws began to come loose, and Musa had a chance to try and stop himself falling into the stream and being washed away forever. If he could just grab hold of something, anything. He reached out his paws and tried to grip anything he could, a tree stump, a stone, a clump of grass, a daffodil, but nothing stopped him. All he had done was change direction 2 or 3 times, but he was still going down the hillside and still going to end up in the stream. As the water was fast approaching, Musa closed his eyes and braced himself. Bah! Musa felt a crash rather than a splash, and realised he had hit a wooden hut by the river, most of which was now collapsing around him. He stood up, dazed. "Oi! Just what do you think you're doing?" said a voice coming out of the still standing half of the hut. It was an elderly alligator. Having been enjoying his newspaper and his pipe, the alligator had been rudely disturbed. "What are you playing at? It's so typical of you young'uns today. You've no respect for anything." "But I didn't mean to," offered Musa. "Well, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to ring the police. It's pure vandalism, that's what it is," said the alligator, returning to his hut to ring the police. Musa looked all the way back up the hill. He couldn't believe he'd fallen so far. He couldn't see the bears either at the top. But they might still be there, he thought to himself. Best off staying put and waiting for the police, he concluded. Musa didn't know too many police officers, apart from Sergeant Jehu, but everyone knew him, and he was a nice fox. Musa hoped it was Jehu that came today. He could definitely help him find the grey cat and those 2 bears. They wouldn't, couldn't and shouldn't get away with throwing a poor defenceless mouse down a hillside, he thought. A little while later, there was a knock on what was left of the elderly alligator's door. It was Jehu and his deputy. Jehu looked around, tutting, shaking his big ginger head. He saw Musa sat on some of what used to be a wall. "Now then, youngster," started Jehu. "Do you think it's fair to destroy Mr. Jawbox's home, do you?" Jehu continued, as he walked over to the young mouse. "Are you okay?" Jehu's authoritarian tone changed as he noticed the state Musa was in. "No, I'm not," said Musa as he began to cry. "I bumped into a dog, ended up in a net, got all muddy with leaves and everything, frightened by a grey cat and thrown down a hillside by some bears." Hold on, interrupted Jehu. "Slow down and start again, Musa." He turned to his deputy and said, "Make sure you get a note of all this, Bunny," and Bunny got a pen out. Musa took a deep breath and steadied himself. "I was taken away against my will by 2 bears into the woods and asked confusing questions by a grey cat about a Mr. Laurent, or I was Laurent, or something like that, I can't remember, but they threw me down a hill, and I'm glad I hit Mr. Jawbox's hut, otherwise I'd have been washed away forever." Jehu placed a reassuring hand on Musa's shoulder. "Wow, I never heard a more unbelievable excuse than that before," said Bunny. Mr. Jawbox was nodding along and added, "Why don't you just take responsibility, you silly mouse? I know you young'uns all come here, messing around, rolling down the hill," he continued, "and it isn't fair that an alligator, minding his own business, should have to deal with it. If I had my way—" Okay, said Jehu, interrupting the alligator's rant. "Musa, I know you're a good kid and wouldn't lie to me. We will have to find this grey cat and those bears, and they will be in a lot of trouble if what you say is true." "It is true, of course it's true," said an irate Musa, looking towards Mr. Jawbox and Bunny. "Do you know whereabouts in the woods these bears took you?" asked Jehu. "Yes, I do," remembered Musa. "It was something like Longfin Thicket." "Ha! Of course," said Mr. Jawbox. "I know you were lying all along," continued the alligator. "That's Catlin's place, and he is a friend of mine, and would never do anything like what you're saying. No way," emphasised Jawbox. "Well, you're certainly rude enough to be one of his friends, Jawbox," Musa replied. "Wait, it did say Catlin on the tree that the grey cat climbed back into. Oh, it's all coming back to me now." "Well, the least we can do is go and check it out," reassured Jehu. "Come on, Bunny. You show us the way, Musa."